opportunity to continue this tradition of education programs earlier this year. Students will be attracted to careers in the food and meat processing, to be able to envision themselves in careers that they may not have even known existed prior to exposure to this particular curriculum. And so, Dr. Kurt Vogel about the specifics of the program and materials, and many thanks to Secretary Romanski and to DATCAP and Governor Evers for allowing this endeavor to go forward. And we very much look forward to it. I think at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Romanski.
Okay, thank you very much. It's really great to have announcements like these. You know, we've conversations with the industry, good, talented, really no different than that of our state's economy. What we saw at the start of the pandemic was to workers, or in this case, not change. We're really fortunate dollars in something called the Meat Talent Development Program. We had flexibility to do this because there were impacts to the state and the economy. Ways to remove barriers to people entering the workforce, creating of people who are going to be in the workforce. And today we're really proud to know. So what I'm going to show you right now, and I've got some leave behinds for everybody, but a career in the meat industry developed what's called the Meat Career Pathways program. You can use this program. There's a link that's attached to it that's going to help people find their way to a job in the meat industry, meat and livestock industry. Or in the livestock and meat industry in the state of Wisconsin. We're working with River Falls, and they've developed this curriculum for high schools. One of the things that often happens is we hear to apply for funding to help them get some equipment, to help them train students at an earlier age. So this is really exciting to have the curriculum that River Falls has developed specifically for this program. Again, to start that training process earlier, so that when kids are done with high school, they may know a little bit more about what they want to do and where they might want to go, and they've got a skill set that's started. So whether they go to River Falls for further education and in the livestock and meat industry, or if they go to a technical college program, or maybe they've got enough training to start and jump into the workforce. That's really exciting, and I'll let Dr. Vogel talk about the specifics of the curriculum, but we're just very excited that it's kind of like moving that needle even more of helping to train people in an industry that needs employees and is part of our core agriculture industry in the state. The timing of this is really special as well. Yesterday was National Teach Ag Day, and this is all about teaching people about agriculture, training them to be in the industry, something that River Falls is so active in doing anyway. Yesterday I was able to visit a school in South Central Wisconsin with the DPI superintendent, Jill Underley. And we were able to talk to students and talk about the opportunities that they're getting in some of their high school ag education programs. It's really important that we make those investments at that level. And then we need to keep that investment consistently, and we need to project that into the future. We can't short education and training. We have to be able to provide funding and programs for our high school programs. And the students that we talked to, they had these wide variety of opportunities that were available. There was veterinary aspiring to be veterinarians. There were people who were looking at horticulture, aquaculture. Obviously, that we talked to people who plan to go back to the farm, welding. I mean, all these fields are available to them. This is going to put another opportunity into those high school programs to be more aware of that meat processing history and jobs in our state. We are going to have, I'm going to pull it up. It was on my screen, and of course it went dead, but we can share this with you when we're done here, but there's going to be a QR code that people can go to that's going to give them all the information about this particular program that's going to be in high schools. I can let you know that we are going to be recruiting 6 to 10 high schools to put this curriculum in place yet this fall and expand it beyond that. But I'm gonna stop right there and turn it over to Dr. Kurt Vogel and the team here who have done the heavy lifting on getting this done. It's important that we have partnerships to get this done. When Governor Evers set aside this funding, one of the things that we realize is that these aren't programs that we can create by ourselves in the Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection. We need to have partners, and we're glad to have Dr. Vogel and the team and everybody here at River Falls as partners on this. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Secretary Romanski, Dean Gallenberg, and Dr. Kelm for your remarks. This project has the real potential to impact many young people as they're developing their visions for what their careers might be. The meat industry has opportunities for so many different interests, as Secretary Romanski had mentioned, from product sales to food service to welding and fabrication to the protection of food safety. Many people find fulfilling careers in this field that fit their specific interests. We're grateful for the support from the Evers administration's Meat Talent Development Program through the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. And we're excited to develop a meat science and industry curriculum for high school agriculture programs. We feel this project will open a lot of doors for a lot of young people to help to support our state's vibrant meat and food processing industries. Even further, with the emphasis on food safety and quality that will be central to the curriculum content, we feel that we will help set many young people off on the right foot in protecting health and well-being through safe and informed food preservation, handling, and cooking practices. The initial idea for this project came from a meeting with representatives from UW-Platteville, UW-Madison, UW-River Falls, and DATCAT. During the first conversation, Dr. Archimedes Reyes, who's here today, emphasized the importance of showing high school students what meat science and meat industry careers look like, because many students, quite possibly most, have not been exposed to the opportunities that exist. From that initial idea, a team came together from UW-River Falls to work on this project, and that group includes Dr. Bonnie Walters, a faculty member in the Animal and Food Science Department, Dr. Tim Buttles from the Agricultural Education Department, Riley Reynolds, who's also here today. He's our meat plant manager. And Hannah Olson, a graduate student in agricultural education in the Animal Welfare Lab at UW-River Falls with a background in high school agricultural education. For many of us, this is a project that has substantial personal meaning because we found our ways to our current careers through meat industry-related opportunities and experiences. It's an honor and a privilege to help provide that spark to the next generation. So with that, I'll hand things over to Hannah Olson. Go ahead, Hannah.
Good morning, everyone. I also want to begin by thanking everyone who has been involved in this process thus far. Without your help and guidance, we would not be sitting up here today. After initial project discussions, I realized from my experiences in the classroom, both as a student interested in agriculture, and then as a teacher in front of those students in the classroom, that this program will have the ability to provide students and teachers with content not previously available. As a student, I was not aware of the wide variety of not only the components, but also the careers that make up the meat industry, and we aim to change that with this project. With this grant, we plan to build a comprehensive meat science curriculum, complete with lesson plans, slide decks, worksheets, quizzes, and 2 built-in labs. Perhaps the most exciting part of this grant that was mentioned before is that we will be creating a scholarship program where we will be granting 100 Wisconsin high schools with a lab kit that will include a meat grinder and a sausage stuffer to help fulfill that built-in lab component to give those kids the experience that they might not often get, because that is a little bit more of an expensive equipment for high schoolers. So with that, thank you, and I will introduce Dr. James Graham.
Good morning, my name is Dr. James Graham once again. Here representing the Agricultural Education Department, who has been working with Hannah and Dr. Vogel on this project. From our perspective, anytime we can put a well-designed, relevant, and applicable curriculum resource in the hands of our ag teachers, it's a bonus not only for education, but for agriculture. Having the expertise we do with Dr. Vogel and Hannah providing the technical background and curriculum design aspects to this project will assure that it is a quality product. This past week, I had an opportunity to reach out to some of our ag teachers in the state and receive some comments. And all three of them are in varying stages of their careers, but from Mr. Jacob Tim, he's a teacher, ag teacher at Freedom High School. He noted that as a beginning agri-science teacher, I'm excited for the opportunity to use industry-directed, hands-on curriculum to better prepare our future butchers and meat processors with the skills and knowledge necessary to be successful. Callie Koch, teacher at Riverdale High School, noted that this will be a great help to the curriculum and secure the teaching resources that they need. And then finally, Dave Cruz from Elkhorn stated that the last 2 years have highlighted the importance of meat processing industry in Wisconsin and across the country. Efforts of high school agriculture education programs to help create student interest in the meat industry to provide safe and high-quality meat products for consumers is an important part of helping the industry develop a stronger labor pool. And so I'm excited that this project is going to be there to support our ag ed programs and to support our students, and more importantly, to support an aspect of our agricultural industry. Thank you for your time today.
So the panelists here today have all completed their remarks. Will be available afterwards for some individual questions and interaction. But before we break up the panel and conclude, any questions from the audience who's here today? So.
Professor Gray mentioned some of the schools. Are those schools ones being considered for the first round of the program? Was the initial 6 to 10?
I think possibly in the consideration. One aspect is that part of this is getting it into the hands of new teachers that aren't currently working with meat science. And when I talked to these teachers, all of them had at some point incorporated some of the meat science, developed some meat science curriculum that they've been using previously. So we'll see how that factors in once they start doing the scholarships.
And I'll add to that. Well, I think once people become more aware of the program and its possibilities, we'll get a lot of people who are inquiring. We'll start with that 6 to 10 number of schools to start as a pilot, and to help centralize and coordinate some of that, we're asking people to use Jeff Swenson of the Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection as an initial contact. So for those who might be interested or listening, it's Jeffrey.Swenson@wisconsin.gov, and he can collect that the interested parties and help coordinate. As I said, I was just with DPI superintendent yesterday. She's excited about the opportunities here, and I think once people are aware of what the curriculum looks like, we're going to see a lot of schools that want to jump in.
Mike, for the teachers, the ag teachers that maybe aren't in the first 6, are they going to have to take like some special classes potentially, because they may be dairy people or they may be agronomy people?
I can answer you for what this program would look like, was to build materials that are essentially plug and play. For some of these instructors, they're going to have additional expertise and they can add to that. But the way we're planning to build this is that we'll have recordings that go along with every one of our slide decks and the other materials that go with, so that the instructor that is totally green to this content and essentially learning it for themselves the first time can learn right along with the students, and then they can start to pick up and take more of their own lead role in future iterations.
Follow up, will the ag instructors, or I guess the curriculum, allow for maybe Duran Smokehouse or or
Building this is that it's essentially do is lay down a site further. They can develop their own part.
I think one of the great values is the plug and play nature of that. Now you can go out and use those tools to.
Very good.
So let me understand that processors right from the start.
I'll defer to development program, and there are a lot of layers. One of the conversation with and UWNAS attract resources, which is connecting from day one, create partnerships, and that's part of the partnerships was created. Is we are working with the meat processing industry. We also want to make sure that we're providing people with the skills that they need to